Hi, I'm Barry, this is Mega City Gaming, and this is the next part of the Shattered Stormvault build and paint. Enjoy. Now I am going to use Basilicum Grey, again the grey that we're using, the contrast paint, and do like a checkerboard pattern, chessboard pattern here, here. No, wrong way around. One in the middle, two at the edge. And the same at the other end, one in the middle, two at the edge. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Go big or go home. So I'll start that off. I'm going to use my 3mm flat brush, very cheap brush that is still very handy. I'm just going to start it off and then, yeah, then you can see me do something else. Or you can see the finished result. Yeah, gonna just try not to get the edges. Try not to go over the edge too much. If we do, we can fix it, so it's not a big deal. Can you see what I'm doing? As long as I can see, and it's fine. The good thing about a flat brush is it's quite easy to make a straight line. There we go. And then because it's contrast, the brush strokes kind of fade away. Yeah, you know what, I've already screwed up. But it doesn't matter. I was going to do one in the middle and two at the side, but now I'm going to do the other way around. It's fine, it's not a big deal. It'll just be different to the box. Right, I'll carry on with that and you can see the end results. Yes, so I did the checkerboard pattern and I did the band around the edge with the grey. I did the other one too, but I inverted the chessboard pattern. Now I'm going to go in with this really awesome colour, Ethematic Blue. It's such a nice colour. And I'm going to do, what am I going to do? Let's start with these skulls around the edge. I'm going to do the skulls around the edge. I think in the picture on the box, they've done it with metallic gold or copper, and then they've gone over it with technical paint. I don't think we're going to do that for the large areas. I'm only going to do that for probably this bit in the middle, because it's obviously a machinery, and I'll do also maybe some other bits on some other terrain. But anyway, let's go in on that. The skulls again with the big old brush. Big old brush. Actually, am I going to do that? Right. Yes, I am. Let's do it. Don't be a chicken. Don't be a chicken. I was going to chicken out there. I was going to chicken out. But no. No, I am not going to chicken out. I'm going to do the skulls because I thought I might accidentally get paint on some other bits, but it's fine. It's gonna get it on there. Just get it on there. There we go. I'm gonna leave the corner pieces as stone. See how that looks. Let's see how that looks. Right. Just stabbing the brush into the gaps between the skulls to get a bit of Ethematic Blue down in there. Getting a bit of a thematic blue down in there. There we go. That looks alright. And I'm going to do the other three sides and the other board as well, the other pyramid thing. Right, so I did the skulls around the edge and I did a little bit of the cog. This is a very thin kind of cog bit there, and then I did the center piece all with a thematic blue, and I'm going to let that dry and then decide if I want to add to it. Of course I'm going to let it dry and do the skulls. There's like the skulls around the edge are actually like flat and obviously like statue kind of stuff, but there are cracks where there are real skulls, so I'm going to go in and do those when it's dry. Next, while all that nonsense is drying, I'm going to go in and do these kind of flame basket things with Nylak oxide technical paint. I've tried it on gold or copper and that looked great, and this will be the first time I've tried it on silver. This is like bolt gun metal or something like that. Right. Get a bit on the palette. Yeah, let's just do the whole thing. Yeah, there we go. Spread it about a bit so it can still see the metal underneath. Should I do the inside as well? Probably. By the way, I'm using, that's blue tack on an old paint pot from yesteryear, just to keep it in position. And otherwise, if I didn't have that, I'd have to do it in 2 sessions and do half of it, let it dry, and then do the other half. But these certainly save me a bit of time. Right, yeah, I'll do the inside as well, why not? Roughly. It doesn't matter if you miss any bits because it's oxidization and that's not uniform. Yeah, that actually looks really nice. Yeah, right, I'm gonna go ahead and do the other basket and this other thing from a different terrain set. Now I'm gonna go in and do the skulls that are kind of between the paving slabs, and I'm using Bone White by Vallejo, but you can use any bone colour. There's lots of different choices and they're all pretty much the same in my opinion, and it's a very similar colour to the primer. It's a little bit more yellow, but it is pretty similar. Yeah. Right. Just going to do these, and then when that's dry, when the skulls are dry, I'm going to go in with a wash. Yeah, just go in with a wash. Right, let's do this one. Running out of space. This terrain's pretty big. It's awesome, but it does all fit in the box with enough space for tokens and maybe a gang or two for Warcry as well. I could put all my Warcry stuff into this box, and it's got the word Warcry written on it, so easy to find, much easy to find. Right, I've done the skulls on this one. Oh, there's a bone in this hole, leg bone or something. Don't forget leg day. Right, excellent. Right, I'm going to let that dry. So the skulls have dried, and while they were drying I took the opportunity to do the columns with Basilicanum grey, just the bits of the writing on it. The writing, yeah, the bits where they wrote all over it. Anyway, so I'm going to go in to do the skulls. I've got Seraphim Sepia here. You can use Agrax Earthshade, that will work fine, or any other kind of brown wash, or possibly even contrast. So I'm going to go in with this Seraphim Sepia. It's a little bit more orangey and less brown than Agrax. I do use it for bone. It's my go-to for bone. And I'm just going to go in and slosh it over the skulls and the bones, in between the cracks. In between the cracks, Uzi drive by and crack. Yeah. Right, that's one lot. I will do the rest and get back to you. Right, next up, I've done all the columns with grey, done all of them, and this is pretty much finished. There's something more I'm going to do with that, but you'll see what that is later. And we've got these bits here, which don't need any grey or contrast paints, but we're going to go in and do the metallic areas. So there's like looking at the, yeah, I think this is probably going to be, well, these handles are going to be gold, like on this, yeah, and these, what's his padlocks and the grill or gate. Let's have a look at the box. What we got on the box. So yeah, I think I'm going to do them silver. Do the gate and the grill and the padlocks. Going to do those silver. Yeah, we're going to go over it with the technical paint anyway, so that's fine. Right, so I'm going to do these first, nice and quick. Bish bash bosh. This is copper, same copper we used before, but you can use any kind of gold colour. You want it more of a bright gold, do that. You use whatever gold you have. I just happen to have copper. It's literally called Copper by Vallejo. GW do a nice copper colour as well, which I have as well, which is Hashut copper. Could just use that, whichever one you want. This Vallejo one has a little bit more of a reddy colour to it compared to the GW one, but that's not why I'm using it. I was using it because I prefer the dropper bottle. But there's not much in it really for me, difference wise. That is excellent. Right, let's do the other one. Using a small brush, small, very old brush. The bristles are all splayed and whatnot, but it ain't dead yet, and I can use it for terrain and stuff, and treat it quite badly because it's old. Probably been using it for more than a year, to be honest. It's like an old pair of shoes. Reluctant to crack open a new one. Got a drawer full of them from Army Painter. Mainly because I was ordering something from Warlord Games, and Warlord Games offers free shipping over like £50 or something, and I was just under, so I thought, well, if I just get some brushes, then it'll tip me over to the free shipping, free international shipping as well, which is a big thing because I live quite far away. So that's what I did. Yeah. Right, I'm just doing this because then I can put these in the box and they're done. Nice quick jobs, although the final stage, the almost final stage even, before top coating, will be to go in and do all the cracks, which I'll tell you about how I'm going to do that in a minute. Maybe it depends how long this takes, but yeah, right, I'm going to do the grill, get all up in the grill. This is, what is this, gunmetal grey, Vallejo, bolt gunmetal, tin bits, whatever silver you want to use. We're going to go over it with this anyway, so it doesn't really matter. You could even use gold if you want, whatever metallic you have really. I'm just going to use this because in my imagination and on the box it kind of looks like silver would be, or metallic grey would be the ideal colour for a gate, portcullis, a grill, whatever. And I'm using the old faithful big old brush, 3mm flat brush, which I have waxed lyrical about already. And with something, it's not complex, but there's a lot of angles on this grill, it's worth having a system, like do the top row and then go in and do the inside, the insidey bits, do all the ones on this side, do all the ones on this side, because it's so easy to miss a bit. It's very easy to miss a bit, and it doesn't matter if you do, because we're going to go over the whole thing, the whole grill with I can't remember what it's called, but the technical paint, which I love. I love that paint. First time I used it was on this, and very impressed. I've already used it on a whole bunch of other terrain bits. Very impressed. Right, do the underneath. Underneath, do the sides. Do the sides, any sides. Yeah, it's quite a small bit of terrain, but it has all these angles, and you know, you've got to paint the inside bits of the portcullis, so it's taken a while, so I'm going to finish that and then get back to you. Done, and I'm going to let that dry for a bit. While that's drying, I'm going to go and do this bit. It's like a little platformy thing, and it looks like I'm going to be using the grey, the Basilicanum grey, and go in and do everything apart from the sun and the moon and the star bit. So looking at the picture here, just do the middle bit, but leaving the details plain. If I do go over, it doesn't matter, because I have of course, Wraithbone colour, I can just go in and fix any mistakes, because there probably will be some. Probably going to need a thinner brush, so I'm going to use my Army Painter brush I was using just now. Yeah, have I used contrast with this brush before? I'm not sure, but let's just see what happens, see how it works. I'm still quite new to the world of contrast paints, as everyone is, I suppose. Right, yeah, this is going to be difficult to get the details. I can't really see very well either because the light isn't good. Let's move that out of the way, then I can see. Right, try not to make too many mistakes. Contrast paint is very fluid, liquidy, watery I suppose. Fluid anyway. So it's a case of blobbing it on and moving it about a bit. Yeah. And I've noticed also it kind of pulls back when you leave it to settle, leave it to dry. Sometimes it pulls back and exposes bits. I've noticed. Like, you think you've done it all, you've done one thick coat, and then take a look at it an hour later and there's a bit that hasn't been painted, which you would have noticed, I would have noticed during the paint process. Right, not doing too bad actually, not doing too bad. Yeah, doing the sun might be a bit of an issue because that has a lot of finely detailed bits around the edge. So I'm using a slightly thinner brush, although this brush is by no means thin. It doesn't have a point anymore. It's a pointless brush. Yeah, there we go. And like I said, if I do make a mistake, it's no biggie. Easily fixable. That is the beauty of having a brush-on version of whatever primer you're using. I usually use black, to be honest. I don't normally use light primers. Right, now that is not bad at all. I was a little bit worried I'd get, I'm just fixing up a little bit worried I'd get that contrast all over the shop, but actually it is a-okay. Right, I'm going to go in and do the outer circle bit and show you what it looks like in a minute. Done it. Went and gone and done it. Yeah, and it actually looks pretty damn good. So let that dry, do something else while that's drying. Yeah, put that there. So go back to these puppies. These should be dried by now, and we're going to use, where's that technical paint? This one, Nihilak Oxide, which is a technical paint I have fallen in love with. Where has it been all my life? And I'm, thinking of all the things I can go back and paint with this, like my Plague Marines, and because I got metallic bits on them, I could totally use this. Although, going back and painting something that I've already finished, not ideal. Although I have recently repainted some stuff that got frosted with my top coat antics in the bad weather, because I think I top coated them during a typhoon or after a typhoon, or whatever. Right, there we go. Blob it on, blob it on, blob it. I'm blobbing this onto the metallic bits using a big old brush. Yeah, and it is looking nice. Very, very nice. Yeah, looking at the ones I did on this was the first time I ever used it, and I did get quite a lot onto the podium, but you know, that's easily clean upable if I want to clean it up. Although oxidization does have a tendency to I mean the stone doesn't oxidize in the not, you know, so but the oxidizing metal, the copper and whatever, does stain the surrounding stone. If you've ever been to Lafayette Cemetery in France, Paris even, then you'll see plenty of that kind of thing. Right, just blobbing it on, blobbing it all over this grill. I'm going to do the surface just for speed. I'm going to go over the front bit and then I'll do the insidey bits in a minute. Blob it on the palette, blob it on the palette. Yeah, get it on the padlocks, get it all up on the padlocks. And then do the insidey bits. And it doesn't really matter if you miss a bit, because oxidization often isn't 100% uniform. So I'm just kind of blobbing it in, making sure there's bits all over the place. Just using up the paint that's on the palette. There we go. Now that looks oxidized. Yeah, it totally does. Right, I'm going to let that dry and then go and do something else. Right, while that's drying, we're going to finish off this old thing. This it's not quite dry, so I'm going to be a bit careful, but I'm going to do the outer trim, the square of the skulls and the pipework and piping or whatever, I don't know what it's called. And I'm going to use this one, Ethermatic Blue, which I've been using for various bits and bobs. This colour, yeah, Ethermatic Blue, and I'm going to carefully do that square using the old faithful 100 yen brush. Right, Ethermatic Blue. It's another colour that I have fallen in love with. And I'm going to brush it all the way. So the brush is actually exactly the right width to get the whole thing with one stroke. More paint, Vic. Right. Get some paint on there. And I've already seen bits where the contrast paint has pulled back a little bit, so I'm going to go fix that in a second. So I'll probably go around once, and if you go over you can just wipe it with your finger or thumb, and if you go over quite a lot, fix it up with the paint. Brush primer. Wow, look at that, that is lovely. It's lovely. And do the last little bit. All the way down. Go over this one more time. Yeah. That is amazing. Yes, it is. Right, that's done for now. There's the second to last final stage. We're going to go back and do some stuff with that, but we're going to let that dry. And what else we got? We got these old things. Quite a lot of these, so I'll just do one. And according to the picture, the top is grey, the square is grey, the middle bit is gold, and then done with this. So same colours. What is that anyway? Oh, looks like a Medusa or something. Medusa. So first thing, I'm going to do the metal bit with the old copper. Oi, copper! Copper! And looking at the picture on the box, the person who did the box terrain also went over using this, so they blobbed it over like I did with that. So because oxide does stain the surrounding area. Copper oxide anyway. Right, yeah, let's just get in there, get all up in there. Another good thing about having this cheap brush, apart from it's quite big, is I can treat it very badly and it doesn't matter. I do have one here that I'll be using hopefully today, because I want to get this finished for the second to last stage. And this one is a couple of years old, and it finally became unusable. Unusable for regular paint, because I treat them quite badly. The paint goes all up in the ferrule, which is where the metal meets the brush. And if it does that, it's difficult to get out, and it dries, and then it clumps, and then, you know, and also loads of bristles fell out. So it's like a lump of paint and then a few bristles sticking out the end, which is not much good for painting with paint and stuff like that. However, I'll show you what we'll be doing for the final stage. I'll just go around trying to do the edges as best I can. Another good thing about this brush is it's flat. Sorry, my cat wants to get on the chair. Risking standing on all my drying terrain. So yeah, those of you who have pets or small children will know that as soon, there you go, hello, and as soon as you sit down, then you become the most popular person in the world. Right, So, and this one here has a bit of a brush fetish. She likes to swipe at my brushes when I'm using them because she thinks it's a toy. Yeah, I'm just doing the edges of this because the relief stands out quite a bit, and although to be honest we're going to go in with the technical paint, so it doesn't really matter, but it's just the kind of guy I am. Why do it the easy way? You could just get away with just not doing the edges, to be honest, if you got the technical paint or even a decent wash like a Nuln oil or something. Yes, there you go. Yeah, make sure you haven't missed any. That's it. Right, that's done now. Going to do that with all the others and then get back to you. Done them, and there's 8 of these puppies, so I got a bit slapdash with the edging. Didn't make any mistakes really, but I didn't go in as much effort to do the sides of the thing, but that doesn't matter because we're going to go in and do this on it when it's dry. No hurry for that, but in the meantime we've got this square bit of detail and the tops to do. So where is it? This one, contrast basilicum grey eel. I have to check the label because you know they are pretty similar to look at, these contrast paints, some of them. So yeah, always check the label, kids. Always check the label. If you're wondering what I'm doing with my other hand, it's a cat. Okay, right. Shaky, shaky, shake, shake. Shake and bake. Right. Shall we start with the top? Start with the front. Start with the front. Because it'll be easier to handle. You know, I could pick it up and stuff, won't get big old fingerprints in it. Right. Right, I wonder if this brush is too big for this. Maybe. Maybe not. Turn it sideways, it's not too big. For the cord work. Turn it sideways, yeah, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. Turn it sideways, do the cord work. Yeah, look at that. Look at it. Yeah, these cornery bits are a little bit more tricky. And do the cord. Right, got to go over this one again because I didn't quite get the edge of that. Might have to do a bit of clean up on these because I've got 8 of them to do, and I'll probably, you know, do a bit more slapdash on the others. That looks alright. Not bad at all. Right, and then the roof. Start at the top. Might need a bit more of this grey on the palette. Okay, get a little bit more. Do the sides. do the sides. And then do a little bit of a touch up underneath because it sticks out about 1 millimeter. No one's going to see it. Why do I bother? I don't know. Any pooling, just kind of brush away. Not that it really matters. Alright, there you go. Job done. Right, I'm going to do the others and get back to you. I have done all 8 of them. All 8 of them, and for the most part, they're pretty good. One has some streaking on it, which isn't ideal, but actually there will be, in most situations, a column stuck on, well, sitting on top of it. So yeah, not too bad, not too bad. I might be able to fix it up later with something, but the rest of them are pretty okay. They're all precariously balanced so as not to wipe off any paint while they dry. But in the meantime, this one is quite dry. I'm going to go in and do the gold bit with the old nihilic oxide, of course, nihilic oxide. Yeah, the old faithful 3mm brush. I'll just do one, and then you can imagine the rest. How's about that? Can't say fairer than that. Let's do the first one. Spread it about a bit so the details still show through. And yeah, this is why I thought the edge wasn't that important, because we're going to go over the edge because it's going to stain the stone behind it. Like that. Yay. Right, let's do the others. This is quite a quick one, but yeah, anyway, I'll do that and get back to you. So I finished all these puppies. They're all drying, and I've noticed there's a bit of pooling and streaking on some of these. Not to worry, no worries. I did do it in quite a bit of a hurry as well, because you know there's 8 of them, and, you know, tedium. But we can fix that. I thought of a way of fixing it in the final second to last stage. So anyway, we've got these puppies. These have a kind of, what is this, ethematic blue square around the edge, and then the main bit is grey, and then the details are left this colour. So we're going to have to go in with the small brush first, do the inside and then around the edge, and then go in with the bigger brush. I guess that'll work. We'll see. I'm still learning. I'm a noob. Right, check the label. Basilicanum grey. All good to go. And doing the inside of this lightning bolt Sigma thing. And it doesn't matter, like I said, huge number of times. If we screw it up, we can just paint over any bits we make mistakes on. And that has turned out quite nice. Right, I'm going to do around the edge of this thing. kind of don't want it to dry before I get all the way around. Don't want it to dry, so I'm kind of on the clock. Because if the contrast dries, and I go over it with another layer of contrast, it will look like I've just gone over it with another layer of contrast, and there will be streaky bits. Right, just doing this bit, picking out the slogan, something about Sigma. This is nice terrain, man. Go around the edge, because I'm going to go in with a big brush and do the rest of it. Right, now I'm going to go in with a big brush, do the rest of it. Not that one, this one. Yeah. Get a load of paint on the palette, and go. So the contrast kind of settles and the streaking should die down a bit, but even so you do want to spread it out, and if you get pooling, as you would with any kind of wash, you'd go in and brush it away. But there's definitely going to be a certain amount of pooling and streaking. And you can alleviate that somewhat with, hopefully, what I'll show you after we've finished these bits. Again, it's experimental for me because I've never, contrast is new for me, and this terrain is new for me, and these colours are new for me, and also going to try another technique for the weathering. Now that looks okay. Right, let's do the next one. Let that dry. Next, right, I've got the old hammer. Again, around the edge, the square will be like a thematic blue, or that one, yeah. And then inside will be the same colour, grey. And then the hammer and the flaggy bits will be normal standard base colour, primer colour. So again, we're going to have to go in with the little brush and pick out the edges, and then go in quick smart, do the rest of it. Quick smart, I tells you. Right, I'm noticing already on this one, I'm noticing the contrast paint pulling back a little bit from certain areas, but that's fine. No worries. If that is the case, Nuln oil could work for that. Right, I'm going in and picking out the edges. Going all the way around, picking out the edges, picking out the edges. And where it's right next to the edge, you might as well just paint up to the edge, as in the edge of the detail. Quickly, quickly! Those people that sit there and paint straight from the pot, you know who you are. There's probably quite a lot of people. I couldn't do that. I don't have the chutzpah. Right, go around the bottom. It is peeing with rain outside. I'm supposed to be going to Games Workshop today, and I will. And I'll be waiting all day for the rain to die down. What is it now? Nearly 3 o'clock, and it's hasn't let up at all. I wonder if there's a typhoon coming or passing. Could be. Of course, the weather forecast on my phone doesn't mention anything about typhoon. It just says rain, and when it says rain, I have no idea if it's actual rain or just, you know, like a light shower that is actually not even worthy of an umbrella. First world problems. Right, I'm doing the inside bits here, and then go around the top. Yeah, it's already dried quite a lot, so I'm gonna hurry up. Right, and then I'll do the rest of it with the old big brush, quickly, never surrender. Right, get a load on the palette and then go for it. I should tilt this towards the camera, otherwise it is not gonna do any good for you, is it? Yeah, more, we want more. Yeah, it's kind of dried out before I did this around the edge, and you can kind of see where I've done bits of it, 2 layers of contrast, but it's still, on the whole, looks pretty amazing. Right, what is next? Everything's drying. I'm going to have to wait till... I'd rather wait till this is completely dry before going around the edge, because it might blend, which, if you want blending, that's great, but we don't want blending. So, let's pause it for a bit. Right, they've dried, more or less. So I'm going to go in with the Ethematic Blue and do the square detail, rectangular detail, edge thing, chord work, not work. Yep. Right, let's go ahead and just do it. They call him One Stroke. Bad, not bad, not bad. Yeah, so I'm going to do all four sides and the other one, and then, you know what, I'm going to get back to you. Right, these puppies are drying. While they're drying, I'm going to do, I think they're all the base colours are done. I'm going to add a little bit of detail. If this is like the final, nearly the final phase. So if you look at this is, I use this as a test piece because this is an experimental stage that I've never done before, and what I wanted to do was kind of pick out the lines and the cracks in the stone, because you can't really see them. You can see them, but they're not like on the box. Let's have a look at the box. On the box you can see the lines quite clearly, so they've used like pigment or wash or something, I don't know. So my options in my limited ability and knowledge were, okay, I could go in with a wash and pin wash everything. Pin wash means use a thin brush and just go in and do the details of the thin brush. I could do that, but that would be quite stark, and it wouldn't, if we see here, so if I pin washed it, the wash would go into the crack, and then but the edges would still be kind of clean. So I wanted it to look more kind of worn and stuff like that as well. So anyway, I digress. Look at this. This is this clips on the end of, how does it go? It clips on the end of one of these. Yeah. So I thought this would be an ideal test piece because I've got two of them. And if it goes wrong, I could just paint it again with the primer. So I went in and I got Tamiya Weathering Master, which is just pigment. It's just dry. It's the stuff that goes into paint, but it doesn't have any solvent in it. And this is like sand, light sand and mud. So I thought, oh, mud would be quite a dark colour to use. So yeah, looks like makeup. So if we look here, this one is the one I did with pigment, and this one is the one that I haven't done anything with, and you can clearly see the cracks, and it's kind of feathered away. It doesn't it's not stark. So anyway, so how do I do that? Well, I got, this is a very old 3mm brush. So this is one I use normally. I've been using all throughout these videos, and this is one that I stopped using about a year ago because, yeah, it's all clumped up and the bristles have nearly gone and stuff like that. So I thought, what the hey, let's use this, because I can't break it because it's already bust. So I could use a sponge, but sponge isn't very good for what I want to do. So taking the brush and brushing, getting some of this pigment on the brush, brush, getting the pigment on the brush, and then going in. So there's the line, there's a bit of hair, there's a line, and just brushing it on the line. That's all I'm doing, brushing it along the line, and it, there you go. That's all. It's simple. So I plan, in my infinite wisdom, to do all the cracks on all the bits of terrain with this. It's going to take me a while. So not just the lines where the pavement slabs meet, but also the bits where it's chipped and busted. Pick those out. Chipped and busted. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Yeah. And this bit under here I'm not going to bother doing, because when it's clipped together. It's underneath and you can't really see it, so yeah. Right, so this one's done, and you know, again, as always, if you screw it up, just paint over it, or this stuff you could probably just wipe it off with your finger, to be honest. So you don't want to be handling it a lot until you've top coated it. So this is why this is the final stage, not the final, well, the final actual painting stage. And then when the weather is nice, when the weather's nice, it's not too humid, there's no typhoon, stuff like that, who knows when that'll be, hopefully tomorrow, then I'll spray everything. Right, this is dry. Another thought I had is these details I can pick out with this, and also these bits on the corners I can pick out with this. Let's try it. Experiments. Oh, look at that. That's a lot more obvious. Yeah. That looks rad. Yeah, because you couldn't really see them before, these Sigmarite bits. That looks so cool. And I'm going to do the other bits as well. And then I'll go around and do the cracks, and I'll put it back in the box until the weather's nice. Right, I'm going to do this sunny bit. Could you imagine people walking all over this in their boots, their hobnail boots, hobnail boot brigade, not wiping their feet? You know. I'm tempted to add some blood splatter to some of this, but and again, yeah, you know, I might leave that, might not do blood splatter. There we go. Picked out the raised areas. Right, and I also thought about using, right, let's get, yeah, you see the bits where it's raised up. And also thought about on the grey bits where you can't necessarily see the details so much. The writing, you can see it's there, but you can't really see what it is unless you look closely. Let's see if this works on that. Let's try this one. Yeah, doesn't make too much difference. I might go in with a lighter, so I got light sand as well. Go in on the grey areas with the light bit. Yeah, that'll work. But I'm pretty pleased with how this is turning out. So the mud for the light bits and light sand for the dark bits, I guess. Again, I don't want to wipe it off with my finger, so I'm being a bit careful, a little bit careful about how I handle it. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't used this much. I do use there's a blue one, I got a blue one, and I always wondered, because I got a whole bunch of these kits, and one of them's got like oil stain, stuff like that, and it's also got blue. I was like, whoa, what's blue for? And then I used it on the barrel of a flamer, and it looks really good. It looks like you know, the heat has affected the metal, and you know, there's probably a name for that. Heat affected metal fatigue or something. I don't know. Right, I'm doing the edges. Yeah, just because guessing the edges would get bits of mud and stuff on them and all that nonsense. Right, now that can't really see too much on the camera, but that is looking a lot nicer. I can see all the cracks, all the details. Yeah, that is a lot better. Right, I will go in. I might do that right now. Wipe off the thing, because I want to get it all done and then go on to the next piece. Right, let's use, we've got sand and light sand. Sand is more yellow, light sand is more kind of sandy colour. Right, getting the load on my brush. Right, picking it up gently so as not to wipe off what we've done already. And let's try this one. It's made a little bit of difference. Not so much. Let's try doing some more. Don't want to use a sponge because sponge is pretty big. Yeah, that actually, yeah, it is making, it's quite subtle, but you definitely can see, yeah, it kind of brightens it up a bit around the symbols. Yeah, am I going to do this on all of the things? Probably not. Nah. Yeah, it's made a little bit of difference, but not enough to warrant spending hours doing it. But definitely the mud, yes. The mud is a yes. That's a definite yes. So this piece is done. It's finished. Yeah, I'm not going to do anything more with that apart from top coat it. So this can go away, and I'm going to do painstakingly all of the other pieces with the mud on all the raised bits and all the cracks and all the edges. Yeah, it's going to take a while, but anyway, it's going to look awesome. Nearly freaking done. So, as you probably can see, I went around and I did all of these cracks with the, what's it called? Weathering Master. And now I thought about how to get rid of these bits of streaking on some of the pieces, and streaking and pooling. So I'm using from the same kit. I used the mud to do the cracks. Now I'm using light sand because it's a very similar colour to the primer, and I'm just going in and using the sponge that comes with it instead of a brush, because I want large areas. There we go. And that, I mean, you can still see the streaking and pooling, but it definitely isn't as obvious. It's definitely masked it a bit, especially when it's on the table with all this other awesome stuff. And I did the same on these bits. There's a couple of tide marks where it dried out, and I went back and I did You know, I wasn't fast enough with my contrast paint skills, and yeah. So that's it. Next. So the last thing I'm going to do is go back outside, take all my stuff outside and into the plastic box and spray with top coat.